Welcome, brother.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Yes, sir. It's been difficult trying to get you here, man.
I know. I'm so sorry. I've been busy. Just like really just there's a lot going on for us right now as a whole organization with scaling into 20 new markets, growing the team internally, and also like our whole entire driver base. Um yeah, it's just a lot going on and it's super exciting, but
Right.
I'm trying to like
Just trying to
even
handle
it
the
out.
you're
Yeah.
trying to handle all the business. But
Yeah.
for the people who don't know,
Hmm?
just give us a refresher course on what Deliverend is,
Okay.
how it began.
Okay. So I'll start from like the beginning whenever we
Yep.
first started. I started another company. It was called Needed Work, and then we switched over, like changed the name to My Sheldon. And during that time, like I brought on 2 partners from Salesforce and also a local entrepreneur from Indy to help me like grow and scale it. During that time, like we started really building up like a pretty decent like client base and everything. And then next thing you know, like one of my best friends was robbed at gunpoint selling his iPhone on Facebook Marketplace.
Yep.
So he called me like immediately, like right after it happened. And I was just like, you got to be safer than that.
Yeah.
Like you don't know like who you're meeting up with. Like you have to give out cash, everything.
Right.
And he was like, well, it was broad daylight at a public gas station where it was like a lot of people there. And like I was like, well, there has to be a safer way out there.
Right.
So I started doing research. He started doing research. And the only thing that we found was going to police stations and exchanging it. But also what we found while doing that research is like different like articles and news stories that present people being robbed still at police stations. And
Oh, they
people
still get
getting
robbed.
Yeah.
What?
Oh yeah. Because like at the police station exchange, there's not an actual officer there.
Right.
It's just supervised, like a video camera.
Okay.
But just like being next to a police station, you would think that people would
You'd
be
be
smarter
safe.
than that, but
Right.
people don't care.
Dang.
Like when
That's
when it comes to when someone's desperate, like they'll do anything and everything they can to get what they need.
Right.
And like right whenever I found that out, I was like, okay, like I was looking at Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, OfferUp, Letgo, Nextdoor. None of them had a safe, secure way to transact the items. You still have to meet up in person. You have to figure out like a way to pay for the item, go across town or go to the person's home to inspect the item or meet up at a Walmart parking lot. I wanted to solve that for people.
Right.
And no one should put their life on the line for something like materialistic at all, ever. So I started out like delivering, shipper tech. It was like a hobby. Like I was going, like I posted on Facebook, like, hey, like if anyone needs help.
So how did you wait? Backtrack a little bit. So you said you started Shipper Tech.
Mm-hmm.
Was it an app at that time?
No. It just turned into an app this year.
It was just a business that you came up with where you would deliver.
Like it first started as me as a bodyguard.
Okay. So somebody would buy something.
Mm-hmm.
You would go with them.
Yep.
And you basically weren't. You were the real insurance.
Yeah.
That they would be okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I would carry with me and just be like, hey, like I got you.
Right.
And during that time, like while I'm sitting in people's living rooms, everything, they're like, I still feel like not safe. Like this could still go south. And I'm like, yeah, it could. So through that time, like I was like, all right, like I was getting these different data points and pain points from real consumers that are utilizing this. And it was just like me posting on Facebook and asking like friends and family, like, if you're going to buy something, let me come with you.
Right.
During that time, I was like getting all this information and I was like, well, like we can mediate this or get rid of all of this because I was on FaceTime once and I was like, well, this is a way that we can like take out that in-person meetup. So I downloaded like Google Duo, like all of the video chat things. And whenever people would come to me, I would be the one that would be calling the buyer and the seller to investigate the item and then like ask questions, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, hey, like that's good quality. And I was like, well, that's liability on me because what if they don't end up liking the product at the end of the day?
Right. And they say, "No, you keep it."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like while they were doing that, they were still having to meet up in person to pick it up and
Yeah.
like, yeah. So,
And that's a lot of work for you too, though.
mhm.
I mean, you just, was it just you that at that time?
Yep. Yeah, it was
Wow.
just me.
Wow.
And they would still be like, oh, like what about payment? Like all this other stuff. So I was like, all right. So I set up a PayPal account
Yep.
and other like third parties where I'm like, I'll send an invoice out to the seller or to the buyer. Once they pay it, then I notify the seller, like, hey, like the payment's cleared.
Dang.
Like they can come pick up the item.
Okay.
And a lot of the people, sometimes it'll be like larger items and they're like, oh, well, I got to go rent this truck. I got to go ask my friend's family. And I'm like, all right, like this is just elongates the whole process. So
Right.
I posted on Facebook one day. I was like, hey, like, oh, actually, I started doing deliveries. And then there was this one time where it was like 2 deliveries at the same time. And I was like, I can't do this. So
Right.
I posted on Facebook and I was like, hey, who has a truck? And like a few of my friends like commented. And I was like, hey, like if you can go like do this, like pick up this item and drop it off there, I'll give you $50
Yep.
like same day.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, okay. So they went and do it. And then I'm like, hold on. Like, I don't have to do these deliveries anymore. But I was still doing them regardless anyway.
Right. But
I
you
still
but
do
you
them
saw
sometimes.
right then that you can pay somebody else to do the job that you really didn't feel like doing, but
Mhm.
to get the same thing done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it a lot more scalable. And it doesn't just help me, it helps everyone in the whole like situation. The driver gets money, the buyer gets their item safely, and also the seller receives their cash safely as well. So it removes all of the dangers, the crimes, the sketchiness from marketplace transactions.
Okay.
So like right now, what our app does, it replaces that in-person meetup with an in-app live video chat so they can further investigate the item, ask questions, negotiate the price. They can pay for the item and the delivery within our app, and the funds are held in temporary escrow. And then we have drivers similar to Uber and Lyft pick up the item and deliver it right to them. And they don't have to give out any personal information like their cell phone number, email address, physical address,
Nice.
because everything's connected through their username.
Wow.
So it's through and through the whole, from start to finish, it's safe. They don't have to worry about anything else
So
whenever it comes to that.
on these apps, on Facebook Marketplace or
Mhm.
Craigslist, do you have to have Deliverend the app to do that, or do you? How do you get it?
So originally, like how I was accepting orders is just through like a Google Sheet. We had a website with just like Google Sheets that asked these line questions, and people would just have to plug in their information and then just
Yeah.
hit submit.
Yeah.
And at that time, we didn't have like the mass locations, so like they would still have to get each other's addresses out, but the person wouldn't have to leave their home to go to their address. I mean, we have that on our website right now, where you can like submit orders and get it picked up and dropped off.
Yeah.
But like that's like the original way how we started.
Yeah.
But with our application, like the buyer and seller, the only reason why they would typically like need the app is to do like that in-app live video chat and also to pay for the item and have the funds.
That's dope though. Like, so now you can see something that you want to buy, and you can have the person show you all the angles and all that. That's dope. And are you moving forward to trying to have it to where you can just do it straight from those other apps, like just from Marketplace and Craigslist? Like you want to get on those applications, right?
Yeah, that's the goal. But at the end of the day, like our overall goal as a company is just helping people and keeping people safe.
Yeah.
So with these platforms, that's where the majority of the traffic is. But like if we were to like integrate into like the Craigslist, Facebook's, like OfferUps, we add that safety blanket like to those platforms,
Right.
where people can just buy, sell safely, conveniently through like any of those platforms.
Right.
Because especially with COVID right now, it's just you're swimming in unknown, like uncharted territory, because you don't know like who's desperate and who's actually just trying to like get rid of something or trying to buy something for the holidays.
Yeah.
And it's just super unfortunate, like some of the stories that I know and that I've heard about when people are buying and selling on these platforms.
Right.
So I want to make sure that no one ever has to put their lives on the line for something materialistic.
Mm-hmm.
And like doing these integrations will really help all the buyers and sellers like on these platforms. So like, yes, like our goal is to integrate into these different platforms, but our number one top goal is to keep people safe when buying and selling. And like also during this time, like with the driver base, we're helping out by like creating more jobs because like the holidays are right around the corner.
Yeah, and it's a big season for that.
Yeah, and it's just like supporting local, like helping out businesses by doing like last mile deliveries for them.
Yeah. So a business can hire you to do deliveries for them as well.
Yep. Yeah, they can. And that's what happened with so many businesses closing due to COVID, is because they didn't have that connection with their end consumer during this time. Companies or businesses that have been around for like 20 plus years, they are like the mom and pop shops, but they haven't really been like innovative in a way to add on these different delivery metrics because the last mile logistics is so expensive.
Yep.
From an insurance standpoint, also onboarding so many drivers and the vehicles too, because that's a ton of overhead because you have to pay for the vehicle, like the lease of the vehicle, the insurance, the gas, the repairs, and also like the manpower behind it to pick up the items and drop them off. And if they have like their own fleet of vehicles, and if one of their drivers goes down due to COVID, or if they have the flu or they get sick, that hurts the business at the end of the day because they won't be able to execute all these deliveries that they need to execute to grow their business.
Right.
So we can come in with all of our driver base and deliver these items for them without having to worry about, oh, like this vehicle broke down, or worry about, oh, I have to pay all this insurance. Like, where am I going to store these vehicles? Like all that overhead. They can just focus on growing their business, and we'll focus on their last mile logistics problems.
Dang, that sounds like a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Like a financial Band-Aid for a lot of companies that use deliveries as a part of their business. Like you can eliminate that cost for them.
Yeah. And even like the ones that don't have like a strong web presence, we're adding in the shops piece where they can pay like a monthly subscription, post like a number of items that they sell, and people can come to Deliverend and purchase them locally and have them picked up and delivered right then and there.
Dang, that's dope. And then how do you become a driver for Deliverend?
You can just like go to the App Store and just download our iOS app, and we're about to roll out our Android app beginning of next year, early January, and they just like go through the process to apply, and you can also like go on the website and sign up to be a driver, but you still have to like go through the background check and all those other like add-ons.
So what's the benefits of being a driver for Deliverend?
Oh, yeah. Like this is my favorite part because like I like appreciate and value our drivers so much, and I care about them so much because like they're the reason like why we're here. Like we wouldn't be able to be a successful company or grow or scale without any drivers. And they're the ones that are putting in the hours to like pick up these items and deliver it, and they're keeping people safe while also bettering their like helping out their families because they're making some cash along the way.
Yep.
We really value our drivers so much because we give them like shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, and we have like a point system that we're about to roll out with based off of how many deliveries they do. They can actually cash in these points and get like more hoodies, like hat, like
gear.
A beanie, like different gear. Yeah.
Yep.
But we also keep them safe because we want to make sure that they're well equipped for these pickup and drop offs, like for these deliveries. So we give them masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, disinfectant wipes, like all these different things just to make sure that they're able to like continue to do these things.
Right.
Because delivery, like it's not going to go away. And I want to make sure that all of our drivers are safe, like through and through, no matter what. And I'm even going to go like we're going to start having like monthly conference calls with all of the drivers within like each region or each city, like market, where we're just like going to hop on a call with me and they can tell me like what's going on with the app. They can tell me what's like, how can we improve our experience, like, or their experience with the app. And just to get like an overall like connection with them and just stay connected, because.
So you want to know every driver personally.
That's the goal.
That's the goal, yeah.
And I just want to make sure that they feel connected with the organization.
You're at least able to be reached out to, which is dope.
Yeah. I would like if a driver ever comes to us and they're like I have a problem because of this.
Yeah.
Like I want to make sure that I can have a conversation with them. Whether if it's not that day, I'll make sure that we can put something on the calendar so I can really sit down and listen to them, because they are like the business. Like they help us out so much.
Right.
And I want to ensure that we continue to keep people safe through these marketplace transactions, and also the business is thriving because of the drivers. And I just want to add that value into them and make sure and reinforce them that they know that they're valued to the company too.
Okay. What's the end goal for Deliverend? Like what do you see Deliverend doing in 3 years?
In 3 years, I want to be able to say that we're not only keeping people safe here in the U.S., nationally, but also overseas as well. Because marketplaces are global platforms, everywhere.
Right.
And it's just if we can keep people safe in our own backyard, then we can keep people safe overseas as well. If we can do that, that's good enough for me.
Right.
I know a lot of people are oh, you have an opportunity to sell for X amount, this and that. At the end of the goal, or at the end of the day, it's all about keeping people safe. You won't be able to sell it for anything if you don't keep anyone safe, and
right.
Focus in on your customer base and show them that they have value, and just give more in value than you receive in payment. So every time they open up a Deliverend app, they want to enjoy that experience. So it's just not only in the next 3 years, just not only keep people safe here in our backyard in the U.S., but also overseas as well.
It's a big goal. Where would you say your tech savvy came from? We've talked before, and you told me you're not a tech guy.
No.
So what made you get into that industry other than you had an idea?
So I'm a big person around learning, and I learned through failure. I learned through anyone and everyone that I meet.
Yeah.
So I just treat every situation, every opportunity it's another way to learn something. So whenever I sit down and I speak to different CTOs or developers, I ask them what's your backend coded in? Who do you use, AWS or Firebase? What languages are you coding in? What do you know in that? And what's the average turnaround for these different projects and these different skill sets? And just trying to gather and learn as much as I possibly can around the technology. I do one day want to learn code.
Right.
But I know right now I'm so busy that I can't do that.
Yeah.
But I still know enough to be dangerous, and I want to just continue to know more and more and more about it, because the more I know about the technology, the more I know about the business, and the better equipped the overall organization will be as I continue to grow and scale and internally, and just understand our tech stack. So it really just went through just networking, putting myself out there, asking questions, utilizing Google and Yahoo, and just learning.
Right. So you're an entrepreneur, mm-hmm. and you're a CEO.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do you not call yourself an entrepreneur and you're just a businessman CEO? Because when you become successful, you're not an entrepreneur. You're a businessman, or you're a CEO.
I always feel like if you're a CEO or any person in a leadership position within an organization, you're always the entrepreneur in that in that space inside of an organization, because you have to be the leader, the self-starter, to make sure that everything's executed. But whenever the times that I do take off my business hat and my entrepreneurial hat is whenever I'm around my son and my daughter, and just making sure that they know that I'm engaged with them, and they understand that sometimes I have to take them on like to meetings with me. And like Monday, I was literally on a Skype call or Zoom call with our whole tech team, and I was holding my daughter the entire time.
Right.
And she was like just looking.
That's
like,
life, man.
Yeah, and she's 10 months old.
Yeah.
And it was just really cool that she was like so engaged and like listening to what people say. I know that she probably doesn't understand it right now,
Right.
but it just like having her in my hands like just really motivates me. And yeah, like I just love like spending time with the kids, and
That's good.
just that allows me to disconnect and unplug and just really enjoy my time with them.
Good. You were saying that you're learning. You like learning, and you and I went to dinner, and at the end of dinner, you gave me 4 books to read.
Yeah,
which like I mean, to me, that just says a lot about you and like you trying to help people get into a direction. Or you gave me direction. Like I had a question I asked about sponsorship, and you were like, the first thing you said was, "I'll sponsor you," but then you said, "I need you to read these books," and you got all these books, and then I mean that resonated in my head. Like this dude is not like he's not faking it. Like you're a real dude, man. Like
thank you.
That was real dope, and I always remember that. I started reading them already, but
I have another book for you too.
That's what's up, man. I'm ready for it. We're about to close it out, but we got to do this again.
Yeah.
And I do have a question for you. I want to ask you, what is the most essential, non-essential app that you use on your phone?
The most essential, non-essential app that I use. Wow, that's a good one. I would say that's tough. I would have to say probably like one of the social media channels, like Instagram.
Probably Instagram.
Yeah.
You always posting on your live feed, your feed.
Yeah. Like I post like in a way, like I use Instagram just to
I think you use it to inspire, kind of. Yeah. Like that's what whenever I see your story, it's always like a beautiful picture, a nice quote, or it's always something very positive.
Yeah, because like with everything, like even outside of COVID, like life is incredibly challenging.
Right.
And there's people going through so much that no one knows about, and they just hide it really well.
Yep.
And whenever I like look at different posts that I throw up there, I want to be like that trigger, because you can be sparked from anything.
Yep.
And I always say, like, I want to make sure that so many people are safe that they actually meet their spark whenever it comes to like an idea or a concept that they can build themselves. But yeah, like I just love positivity and helping out as many people as I possibly can, because life is hard. It's rough. And but there's a lot of beautiful things out there that you can capture and share with others. And that's also the beauty in social media. Like some people like use it to like bully others and just show like, oh, like you can live this life, you can live that life. Like it's not easy to get to that point. And it's not like the whole like fake it till you make it thing. It's more like the only way that you can get there is through helping others. Like that's why like a lot of entrepreneurs are successful, is because they build a business that helps or that solves many people's problems.
Right.
And like when it comes to social media, a lot of people want to like flaunt and show like all these different things. Oh, I'm here. And like a lot of people like want to be big in the town that they're in, and not that many people like have that vision to see outside of it.
Right.
So when I see people like posting like all these different things, I'm like, yeah, like that's huge. That's congratulations. That's awesome. But like how many other people are you helping too along that way?
Right.
And it's not only like taking your time and stuff. You can even just post something motivational.
Right.
And because you never know, like someone could be just like literally like really down in the dumps, like thinking about ending their life. And they're like, all right, like I'm just gonna be sitting here going through Instagram. And then they see a post that just sparks them like, huh, like maybe I need to rethink this. Or maybe like I was looking at this in the wrong light or wrong site. And it just gives them another opportunity to rethink and take time and just be patient. And I'll really like weigh in on like my son, daughter, family, everyone that I meet, patience. Because once you master your patience, you can control everything.
Yeah.
Your reaction, your emotions, your decision-making skills. Everything is around or surrounded by patience. And it just goes off of that.
Right.
Because if you start feeling rushed, that's when you hit anxiety, stress, like feeling like you don't belong. And this is like what I want like a lot of people to take from this is just once you master your patience, you can control any outcome. Whether it leans in your favor or not, like you can learn from that just based off of how you perceive it from like just being patient. Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
Well, that's all I got, man. You gonna come back and do this with me again?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure, man.
Yeah.
I appreciate the time. Thanks for coming out. How can people reach you?
They can reach me at my email is nick@deliverend.com.
Yep.
They can find me on LinkedIn, just Nick Turner.
Yep.
Instagram, Nick Turner 26_ or just follow Deliverend.
Yep.
Yeah, just reach out. Like I'm more than happy to help out as
download
many people
the app.
as I can.
Download the app.
Download the app. Give us 5-star ratings, please.
Yeah. Please come back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick.
Yeah, I'm coming back for sure.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.